Hello everybody and welcome back to the Discerning Otaku, where today I'm going to do something a little bit different. It's going to be kind of in the vein with my last video, is more of a discussion than anything else, and I'm going to discuss a concept instead of discussing a specific anime. And this one is really going to be a discussion, so I'm going to say beforehand, if you have any opinions on this, please leave comments down below. I'd like to get a discussion going about this if at all possible. So the concept I would like to discuss today is actually one involving the entire anime, manga, otaku community, and that's something that I've been referring to as reverse gatekeeping. Um, and now I know myself, amongst other people that I know have gone through this, but it's a very odd sort of thing. So we have gatekeeping in most general areas where people within a certain fandom, regardless of how niche it is, tend to keep outsiders away. Now, what I've run into within the anime community is this concept of reverse gatekeeping, whereas if you don't like a specific show or something, to that you are sort of alienated. Now, I've run into this many times. I myself have been watching anime for over 3 decades now, starting back with Toonami, watching Ronin Warriors and Samurai Pizza Cats, Gundam Wing, and all those way back in the early 90s. But this seems to me to be more of a new thing, and it seems to also be largely focused around shows with immense popularity. I, for a while, was jokingly calling them hot topic shows because a lot of the ones that I run into that do this are, if you go to Hot Topic, you will see merchandise for them. Um, Such as Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul, My Hero Academia, Hunter x Hunter, Black Clover, and so on and so forth. Now, where I really noticed this firsthand actually happened towards the beginning of this year. I was in Japan on vacation, and I was walking through Akihabara, and I ran into Joey, the anime man. And he was interviewing people with a microphone, so I figured I'd wait around and see, I enjoy Trash Taste and all of their different channels and things like that, so I just wanted to say hi. But when I walked up to him, he goes, "Name your anime hot take." And now, knowing it was for a YouTube channel and things to that nature, I was going to kind of exaggerate just a bit. And the first thing that came to my mind was 90% of Attack on Titan is yelling. Um, Obviously, it is a joke. Now, don't get me wrong, I do feel the show has a lot of yelling, similar in the vein of Dragon Ball Z having a lot of yelling, or Black Clover, Hunter x Hunter. A lot of those shonen-esque shows, not saying Attack on Titan is shown, but a lot of those style shows do have a lot of yelling. They're action-oriented and so on and so forth. Now, that video has been turned into a short on his channel and has gotten upwards of, I think the last time I checked, 2.5 million views. Now, I initially started reading through the comments, and boy howdy, do people hate that opinion, which is asinine to me. It's an opinion. My disliking of this show has nothing to do with your enjoyment of said show. And this is not the only time I've run into things like this. Personally, I was on Reddit the other day, and a person posted shows that they had watched and were asking for recommendations. Now, there was a person that popped into the comments because most of this list were shonen shows, your more intro anime shows that don't really delve too far into the medium. You're not into your signage, your slice of lives, your maho shoujo. It's one base area of shows, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's as far as you want to delve into anime, you have plenty of shows to choose from. I personally used to be a big shonen enthusiast, but as I got older, I realized that I was severely limiting myself within the medium by sticking to that. So this comment was asking, and a person popped into the comments and kind of chose violence that day. He goes, "Everyone that tells you that sticking to shonen is not a good thing, they're wrong. Shonen's the best, yada yada yada." So I popped in with a I did not choose violence. I popped in with the definition of shonen. Shonen in Japanese is boy or young boy, is a genre generally aimed at 12 to 15-year-old children, males. Um, Now, this person thought I was attacking him, saying, "Are you looking down on me?" And my response was no. I said, but to tell somebody that shonen is the best severely limits their ability to find amazing shows outside of this genre. You know, you're missing Psychopaths, Madoka Magica, FLCL, Odd Taxi, Pluto, VV Fluoride's Eyes. A lot of these shows that don't fall within that realm, you're just missing out on. And it's this sort of reverse gatekeeping where, you know, if you don't like Attack on Titan, you don't like My Hero Academia, people are kind of against you. Like, how can you not enjoy these things? But it's all very subjective, right? It's everything is going to be different. There are different tastes for everybody. My personal favorite anime is FLCL, but I'm not a hardened fan that will tell you seasons 2 and 3 were good and grunge is great, because they're not. I will just tell you that the first section of OVAs meant a lot to me when I was growing up watching it, and it still holds very true that that show is very special to my heart. But the sort of reverse gatekeeping that people are expecting you to like everything that they like. When I saw some of the comments on Joey the Anime Man's interview with me, somebody goes, "Have you watched all of Attack on Titan?" I said, "No, I watched most of the first season and realized it wasn't for me. I don't like the character design. I don't like the story. I don't like the color scheme. I don't like the voice acting. I didn't like anything about it." And in all honesty, I didn't find it to be that unique of a show. There were shows, I mean, you can go back to Black Bullet, had a central premise of giant creatures trying to get into a city. So, I mean, there were certain things that it just didn't meld with me. And this person actually goes, "Well, you can't judge a show until you've watched everything." And that's complete nonsense. If something doesn't grab you, that's completely okay. I'm not going to put in, 100 hours to hate watch something when I already know it's not for me. I can read a plot synopsis. If the animation or the character designs of the story don't grab me, that's okay. There's thousands of other shows I can watch that might grab me that don't grab you. I personally love slice of life shows, emotional dramas. I do enjoy isekai because I'm trash, but to expect somebody to like everything that you like and to sit there and attack people over this ultra popular IP because they've decided they don't like it is a toxic thing for this community, and it's honestly kind of upsetting. When I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, you like anime?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love anime." They're like, "Oh, you like Attack on Titan?" No. "Oh, why not? It's amazing." It's just not for me. And it's just all of this back and forth aggression. It's not something of, "Oh, what do you like then?" Which could expand the knowledge and enjoyment of certain genres that may get ignored in the shonen sphere or the ultra popular show sphere. I mean, when Attack on Titan came out, there were tons of shows that were coming out that were absolutely amazing, but popular media only focused on that one. The same with My Hero Academia, Chainsaw Man. I mean, Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen, while not at the exact same time, came out relatively similarly. And to be completely honest, I would rather watch Jujutsu Kaisen all day over Chainsaw Man. I didn't really particularly like Chainsaw Man. Yeah, I get it. He has a chainsaw for a head and he likes boobs. There were very interesting ideas within Chainsaw Man that I wish that they had followed through with going into, but they kind of glanced over them. And before you said, "Well, you've only watched," no, I read the manga. I read the entire first story arc, and they never delve into what I would want. They didn't develop the characters in any real deep way, and they didn't explore a lot of these things that I wanted to know more about within. Whereas Jujutsu Kaisen really goes in deep with a lot of the character backstory, and they start developing the world and the powers and things of that nature. So I personally, while it's not as flashy of a show, I felt that it was a better shonen show. So for me, and seeing here in the States, people kind of ignore Jujutsu Kaisen, whereas Chainsaw Man, hugely popular. And so I think we're really doing the community a disservice by only standing behind those few shows. And like I said, it's that reverse gatekeeping where we need to be more inclusive to a lot of different things. There's a lot going on with this medium that's amazing. There's so many cool shows coming out. I did a video about Pluto. Pluto was immaculate, but all anyone's talking about this season is the final season of Attack on Titan. They're not looking at all of these other things. They're so tunnel visioned in that it really stunts the growth of the medium as a whole. And now if you love Attack on Titan, I'm not attacking you. I'm perfectly okay if you enjoy that show. More power to you. Me personally, I don't like it. It's just not for me. And that's the same with any shows that I've talked about here. If you like Chainsaw Man, that's perfectly fine. We all watch anime and enjoy it for different reasons, and that's good. I'm not going to attack you for any of these things. That's not what I'm here to do. All I'm here is to try to open up this discussion of why we're doing this. Why are we sitting here and bolstering up these hyper popular IPs and ignoring some hidden gems that are just sitting there waiting to get, love, that, we're going to have 47 seasons of Attack on Titan, but, we're still waiting on season 2 of Dead Man Wonderland. We're still waiting on season 2 of No Game, No Life. Shows that were really unique thought processes and concepts that were just kind of ignored because they didn't fit that normal standard of show. And I truly think that's doing the medium a disservice. Don't get me wrong, I'll go and pick up manga if I can't finish a story because the anime only got one season. I can't remember who said it. It was either Glass Reflection, Mother's Basement, or Trash Taste, but they were saying that they felt like anime were merely trailers for manga and light novels because they never really run the full gamut of the story. So if you want to kind of continue, you do have to kind of go back. And that is a thing nowadays that's happening more and more, and it didn't used to happen. You go back into the 80s, 90s, and early aughts, and you have shows that were fully through the entire story arc of the manga and were translated to anime. Bleach is currently finishing up its last story arc from the manga. Naruto, I think, ran through all of it. One Piece will never finish, obviously. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of any of these IPs. I do enjoy Bleach. It's something I watched when I was a kid. But even back to like the big shonen of the early aughts, the stuff that remained popular, they ran through their manga. You don't get a lot of that nowadays. Like, I don't know if Freeren's gonna run the entire length of its written story within the anime, and I don't see a lot of people talking about Freeren. Now, don't be wrong. I'm Trash Taste. I'm pretty sure he's mentioned. I know Mother's Basement and Glass Reflection have it on their short list for anime of the year, rightfully so. Freeren's absolutely immaculate. But you don't have the larger section of the community noticing things like this. You have it falling short for these longer running mainstream shows, as it were. Stuff that's all about the fight scenes, tournament arcs, the yada yada yada. And like I said, once again, perfectly okay if that's all you enjoy. But do yourself a favor and try something outside of the mainstream. That's what I did years ago when, I was all shonen focus. Like that was I need action, I need action. But even getting outside of that, even sticking with the action, if I had stuck with shonen, I would have found the Fate series. You know, Fate Stay Night, Fate Stay Zero, Unlimited Blade Works. I never would have found those. They don't fit into the shonen terminology, but the action scenes are immaculate. Um, but getting outside of that can broaden your horizons, can more enrich the level that you can enjoy the medium from. And you're not pigeonholing yourself to one area. There's so much more out there. There's so many different stories to consume and enjoy. And don't attack people for their opinions. It's okay to have a different opinion. You don't have to like the same thing as everybody, and you don't have to stand up for massive IPs. People that have attacked me because I don't like Attack on Titan. Why? Me not liking it does nothing against it. It's still popular. You know, me listing off reasons why I actually dislike it is not harming you. It's not harming your show. It's not harming the fact that it finally made it to its final season after the 14th final season. It's okay. You don't have to stand up for it. I'm not hurting Attack on Titan's feelings. It doesn't care that I exist, and it doesn't care that I don't like it. And now, like, it may seem that I'm harping on that one show, and that's solely because that's the one that I've seen the most people arguing with me about. And I try not to argue because I don't legitimately care. I've been watching anime for over 3 decades. A lot of these people arguing with me are vastly younger than me. I'm just happy you found some anime that you like, man. You don't have to yell at me. It's okay. We're all part of this niche community that likes the Japanese animated cartoons. Like, it's all right. So with that, I did not mean for this video to be as long as it is. I really just wanted to kind of give my statement here and kind of try and get other people's opinions back on what you think about this reverse gatekeeping problem. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one seeing it because I'm the only person that dislikes Attack on Titan. But have you run into this with any shows? Has this been a thing? I don't usually run into Dragon Ball fans that attack me when I say I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball, because I've seen most of it anyway, but it just wasn't for me. But is this a thing that you come through? Leave some comments down below. I'd love to discuss some stuff with people and kind of see what their opinion on this is. You know, I see it as being a very toxic thing for the community, and I'd like to see people being more inclusive, and instead of arguing people why they don't like certain shows, maybe have that person go, well, what do you like? And kind of broadening things out a little bit, because that's how people discover new shows. I mean, before I started watching everything every season, that's really word of mouth was big for me. It was helping me to discover things. I mean, when I first got it and started watching anime movies, I had a friend that I worked with loan me Wicked City, Vampire Hunter D, Akira, Ghost in the Shell. He loaned me the VHSs of all those movies, and that's how I started getting into things outside of what was readily available to me, the few things that were back in that era. But yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. And so far, all the comments from everybody have been really kind. I greatly appreciate your feedback on everything. You've all been very, very nice to me, so that's why I still continue making these videos. But as per always, if it strikes your fancy, like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I seem to have enough time to get a video out a week. I'm going to try and keep up with that, and maybe push out some extra more over the holiday weeks if I have the time to do it. But I think that's going to be all for this video. Thank you so much for watching my long rant. And I hope you have a great day. And as per always, watch more anime, read more manga. Have a good one.